This is the 2020 YT Jeffsy Pro Race 29. With 150 millimeters of travel, both front and rear, on Fox factory suspension, it's got 29-inch carbon E13 rims, top-notch X01 transmission, Eagle, of course, carbon bars, carbon cranks, Fox factory transfer seat post, 150 mils of drop there as well. This bike is amazing. The first place I took it was the bike park. I thought that would be the best place to put it through its paces, find out just how good the suspension works for me, and see what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. The YT Jeffsy, I'm stoked to ride it. It's such a beautiful bike. This is my first time down the mountain on this bike, and I'm just gonna go down an easy trail. This is a top-notch kit. This is the nicest bike that I'll ever own. The price on this bike came in at $52.99 plus $100 for shipping. This bike just popped off of that double. It felt great. I couldn't find a better deal, and I did a lot of research. I did an unboxing video where I assembled it, and it was super stupid simple to assemble. I mean, they did everything for you in the beginning. I've been looking at the Jeffsy as my next bike since 2018. In all of that time, I couldn't find a better deal financially and for the kit and the quality, geometry, and all that stuff. This is just the perfect bike for me. This bike is so playful, I can't even explain, I can't express how playful it is compared to things I've had otherwise. And when I say the perfect bike for me, I was actually looking equally at its older brother, the Capra, which is a full-blown enduro bike. In the end, I decided the Capra was too much bike for me. Being overbiked is, in my opinion, more annoying than being underbiked. Woo! That was seventh heaven. Just because of this bike, that might have been one of the better rides I've ever been on. In the reviews that I heard online, people were describing the Jeffsy as a mini enduro bike, or a super trail bike, or a trail bike plus, or enduro bike minus, or whatever. And that really was phenomenal to me. It sounded perfect to me, and honestly, it is. Before setting off to the bike park, I made a few changes, and also added a couple things. One of the very first things I ordered was a bash guard. That protects your chainring and other components. I bought this fender that bolts right to the new factory 36s, well, the 2020 factory 36s. So there's no zip ties and stuff like that, very clean looking. I'm using the Race Face Chester pedals, probably the most popular pedal out there actually. Super affordable, I've never ridden a better pedal yet. This bike comes with tubes in the tires. And it also comes with Maxxis Minion DHR2s, front and rear, which are fantastic tires from all available evidence. But when I took it to the local suspension tuner to just kind of get my suspension set up for my heavy body and riding style, he said, don't go up to the park until you get a downhill casing rear tire at least, to protect my carbon rims and avoid the punctures and things that come along with being a heavier rider doing more aggressive things. The shop didn't have any downhill casing tires that I wanted other than the Dissector. I've never ridden a Dissector, but I love it. It's amazing. It grips, it pedals well. When I want it to break loose, I can get it there. Very good tire so far. I've always wanted to try the Assegai, I think that's how you say it, front tire. This one has EXO Plus casing, which is just in between the downhill and the normal EXO casing. The tread of the Assegai and the way it rolls in corners and controls blows my mind. That's absolutely mind-blowing. I went tubeless, front and rear, and put on these cool green anodized valve stems. All right, let's go back to the park, see how this thing performs on the trail. So I wish I had a higher gear to pedal, but that can be taken care of. The highest gear on this bike didn't feel high enough, on the mountain at least. Pedal strike, and there comes the wall ride. I just went really high on that wall ride, for me anyways. This bike handled that wall ride crazy easily. I've never had an easy time doing that wall ride, and today was no problem at all.
This bike feels so good.
I am 6 foot tall, and this size large fits me perfectly. The reach felt a little shorter than I expected at first, but surprisingly that feeling disappeared completely when I started actually riding it. In my opinion, the sizing is just right.
Planted when you want it. It pops when you want it. Just a rocket. Woo! The corner's tighter than my previous bike, that's for sure. It handles so well. I can feel my suspension is so dialed compared to any other I've ever had, thanks to Diaz suspension and Durango. Whew. Oh jeez, that was a huge mistake I just made. I didn't even feel it. The bike just handled it. That was awesome. Oh man, LA, this bike is so sick.
I bet.
Holy crap. It just eats these bumps alive, guys. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Oh man, the brakes are so responsive, and I'm told these are not good brakes by some people. Some people love them. It's the Code RSC brakes by SRAM, and I love them. Oh, this is so sick. Oh yeah.
When they're there, both of them.
Oh yeah, it's steep. It feels so good. And just planted. I'm not used to the bike yet, but it's doing better than I am, if that makes any sense.
When I say the bike was doing better than I was, what I mean is the bike picked up where my technique fell short. If I chose a bad line, the Jeffsy made it a good line. If I went off a jump wrong, the Jeffsy made sure it corrected me. It was as if the bike was kind of reading my mind.
Wait, these aren't the jumps. Why the hell am I doing this then? They're jumps. Let's see how the Jeffsy does. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Perfect bike. This might be the perfect bike. Oh, cased it. Cleared it. I love this bike.
Now, I'm not a strong jumper, but the Jeffsy made me feel like I've been jumping for years. It popped into the air with confidence, and I just knew while I was in the air, the landing was going to be smooth, plush, safe, solid. I even attempted a little bit of a whip or a tabletop. I don't know what you would call this, but I tried it, which for me, that's something. The next thing I needed to test was the climbing abilities of this bike. I'm definitely not a strong climber. Being overweight and asthmatic really takes its toll on my body when I'm trying to ascend the types of climbs you would find in Durango, Colorado. So naturally, I set out to try the steepest climb I know of. Overend Park does not have lift access, and all the trails are rideable. For me though, even on my super efficient hardtail, I need a lot of brakes for breathing in water. What better place then to test the Jeffsy's climbing characteristics?
It's a beautiful climb, but brutal for someone in my physical shape.
Anti-squat is a bike's resistance to squishing into the suspension while pedaling. If a bike has a lot of anti-squat, theoretically it should be an efficient climbing machine as it won't lose a lot of your pedaling energy through the suspension. The Jeffsy is the first bike that I've ever felt any anti-squat. It seemed to climb extremely well, and the punchier climbs didn't seem to be any more difficult for me than with my previous shorter travel bike. I never locked out the shock either. It's just a good pedaling bike. The way I measure this isn't how fast I climb, but how many brakes I need on a given climb, compared to, say, another bike that I'm familiar with, like my hardtail. I needed no more brakes with the Jeffsy than I have with my hardtail. Now, I know this is not an incredibly accurate measuring tactic, but it's what I know. Maybe in the future, I'll do some timed runs and see how the Jeffsy stacks up. After the day was done, I was worn out, but I just couldn't stop smiling about my new bike. YT really has some good people working there who truly understand what mountain bikers really want. If you've made it this far, I assume you are looking at purchasing a Jeffsy, or, like many of you, you've already purchased one and are just waiting for your bike to arrive. Believe me when I say you will not be disappointed in this purchase. There is not a better deal out there in my opinion. Hit subscribe for more mountain bike content and surely some long-term Jeffsy videos. I would love to hear about the bikes you're all riding, so drop a comment and let me know. What else do you want to know about the Jeffsy? I'm stoked to answer any questions you may have. Stay safe out there and keep riding bikes.